Hey, psst, psst, hey, you. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too? So, what about all that communism you've promised to build? Word on the street is you've woken up from 1,000 years of slumber, promising to erect a version of communism many times greater than any attempted before. Is that true? You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners. Funky style, very funky. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it? Oh yeah, get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready. There they both are. Two identical shoes, both copiously green and like two baby crocodiles. Good, they're balanced, comfy. This is a wall on the side of an apartment building. You have no clue. It's just a wall. So many walls all over Martinez, weather-worn.
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to...
Logic error. She is not sleeping right now.
Pig's come to take me out! Trying to snuff me out! Faggoty! Look at the ass on that.
It's been a week and now they show up?
You see a young man on about.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
It's the voice of someone who has something to hide, my liege.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Is it really that important?
Like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run. I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear gendarme. Do you have an estimate of when the body will be taken away?
We will remove the body as soon as possible. Now tell us, where were you last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
Wait, is someone else investigating the lynching?
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Last week? I don't know. Look.
A downy blanket of white to cover up the miserable poverty of the scene.
You didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over. It was my Sunday friend.
A Sunday friend? How intriguing. He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. Under the grey sky, snow continues to pile on the...
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
That's definitely not his real name.
No, of course not. Could you please lower your voice? No. We won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going. Good luck with the investigation.
He's gone. No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself. He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case. There has to be a way of getting inside the building. Once
striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. Baton, my maiden name. I meant you, the Revachol Citizens Militia, the police. Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Relax. She meant it in jest.
I'm glad to see you here. I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines Group. Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi, from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective? I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please. Oh, dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Of course. But before we do, officers, let me be perfectly clear. The situation is extremely volatile. The sooner we can speak about this lynching business, the better for all of us. What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes, companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo tribes remain. Saint-Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
Why, thank you.
She nods.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments that gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. I am glad you see it that way. To repeal the act would mean repealing the coalition government, the one that leases you the right to police West Revachol.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike?
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Then you might also like their other slogan. Demand democracy. Personally, I don't think it has the same pizzazzo as every worker, a member of the board. It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision, about what? About anything really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, it's not a swell start. I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out. No, wait. The chief negotiator heard it from a man at the gates. Surely the Wild Pines group has more effective channels of information.
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the Union. Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is... Why do you think so?
What she calls corruption is simply an aesthetic category.
Point taken. But enough about Everard. What else can I do for you? I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story. Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a Union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help? Of course, Detective. Take care.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked. This could be a way into the apartment building the smoking man vanished into. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response. The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside. Ha! The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No, I already told you. I won't. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there.
Backyard door with the smoker. You already were there. Didn't work.
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
There is no reply. The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside. Doesn't matter who I am. Now go on, get out of here. Ha! The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone...
Backyard door with the smoker. You already were there.
Good. We had enough problems with bums and drunks and thieves loitering in the hallway. You have no business here.
The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside. Ha! The police? No. I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Backyard door with the smoker. You already were there. You're well versed in the kind of threatening legalese that implies criminal liability, but in fact has no meaning whatsoever.
I know my rights, and don't you marm me, boy.
Miss, would it help if we offer to show you our badges?
Ah, it's like a carrot to the stick, sort of.
Hold your horses. I don't care about your stinking badge. Just come in.
What happened here? It will still be accessible through the apartment next to it. That one didn't have a door. Sadly, nothing of great value remains here. Indeed. You hear someone. The walking stops abrupt. A poor communard from the...
Do I have to open the door? Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get inside that apartment.
It's generally easier to do things if you have lit. This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says it's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters would make short work of it. Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise. No reply. No reply. No reply. What are you doing? You need to get your tools out, man.
Yes?
That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's the star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mezov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure. To symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were all... The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time above it. Because white is the color of peace. Gone is the glory of hope. Only the scribblings of impoverished students remain in dirty hallways. You are the big communism builder now. It's you or no one. You hear someone walking around inside. A poor communard.
Do I have to open the door? Do you have a warrant? I'm not...
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get in.
It's generally easier. This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, number 11.
Give me a moment. The cold never does any good for my bronchitis. I'm fine. Fine. Don't you worry about me. Now, what do you want from me, policeman?
She's the cleaning lady. She knows the floor plan and the residents.
I'm no one. Just an old woman who cleans these hallways. If you can call it living. I have a little room upstairs right next to the coal room. It's barely bigger than a closet, but I don't complain, no. I have my bed and my aching bones to keep me company, and that's all I need from this world.
She hasn't spoken to anyone for a while. Even her sentences feel rusty.
Yes, I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for? Talk?
What was so funny about that?
He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the balcony. See if he's home.
Ask away, policeman. The hell am I supposed to know? Another nut job, I assume. Some lunatic lost his mind. All kinds of morons pass through these halls. People come and go. I don't keep an eye on everyone.
They probably just moved or died, hopefully somewhere else.
No one lives there. It's been empty for months. Impossible. I would know if someone had moved in there. Maybe it's those countercultural people again, breaking into a house like it's a public space. You're a policeman. Be good and take a look, will you? Great. Young people. They're worse than rats. You know, always littering the hallways with trinkets and empty beer cans. Oh, that one is a scientist, a future scholar. I think he studies astrology at the community college. Education's good. I always tell them to study. Something to do with all those stars around his door. He asked me to leave his drawings up on the wall. The symbol of what and how? Huh, I thought Revachol was the capital.
She mumbles some kind of a response. You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. A poor communard from...
Do I have to open the door? Do you have a warrant? I'm not...
Let's go. We don't have...
It's generally easy.
Excuse me? Of course not.
You have plenty of reason to enter.
Oh, come on.
Well, that was easy.
That was smart.
Satisfied?
My name is Marielle Charpentier, and I'm an agent with Martinez Realty Associates. I am not breaking in, as I have every right to be here. The keys, see? Do you want to see my ID as well? You can't legally ask for it, but why not? Want to see my residence permit too?
It feels flimsy in hand, with the words Revachol Zone of Control written under a nondescript municipal logo. There's a picture of her with shorter hair inside.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? I need to be back in Midtown in an hour. I need to get it ready for the next lease, but as you can see, the previous tenant completely trashed the place. It was some kind of a moribund old man who used to be a business owner. You'd think they'd make rent. But that was months ago. Anyway, was there anything you wanted, or is that it? I'm in a hurry. Oh, that's another huge mess. The former tenant owes us 3 months of rent. 3. We closed the apartment and planned on auctioning off the valuables, but... And again, I have no idea how stupid mistakes like this can even happen. But Ron, when he came to close the door, didn't close the neighboring door. And there's a hole in the wall. A hole in the wall. Can you believe it? And then the tenant ran off with his stuff. He's gone. The money's gone. Just like that.
The sum must have been puny.
These apartments are perfectly fine. They have gorgeous architecture, a million-real view of the bay, good ventilation, neighbors, life, spark, and they are affordable. I'll tell you, Martinez has a future. In a few years, it's going to blossom with artists and creatives and those radio computer wizards. Don't ask me what happened with the wall. I have no idea how we're going to find the time or resources to fix it. Both apartments are now unrentable. Both. Of course.
Give me a moment. I see. I hope some good people are finally going to move in. This place needs them. Yes, well, I hope that...
Your statements are too vague to comment on.
Give me a moment.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Let's see if anyone's home. Knock on the door.
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening. We should return tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good? The smoker on the balcony. This is why we're here, right? He might know something about the murder. So tomorrow 9 p.m.?
Don't worry. It's mostly all still here. You can remember things. You got this.
Tomorrow, 9 p.m., right here. Apartment number 28. Good.
Damn. Turns out it's quite tricky finding someone in a big apartment building. Don't worry. You'll get him. Remember, tomorrow, he's no one on.
We should return tomorrow.
This door has been closed with a padlock. What are you doing? You need to get your tools out, man. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and...
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Of course. What is her number, officer?
Yes, hold on. Her number is 005 1944 298.
Received. Hold on, officer.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi slowly begins to tap a little rhythm with his right foot. Quite a little.
Officer, I have Sylvie Malaika on the line for you. Yes, hello? Oh, right. Hello, officer. What can I do for you?
There is no resentment in her tone. She wants you to ask her out. No question about it.
You mean, why did I leave the bar? Honestly, I'm not really comfortable discussing it with you, sir.
Why not?
Maybe, I don't know. No, not me. No, sorry, I don't. Not a lot of people have phones around here. Copper thieves take the wires. People don't have the money to have the cables put in again. They use the Union's phone, or the one on the coast.
So the Union has a phone, and there's one further down the coast. Got it.
It was someone else. We'll find them sooner or later, officer.
Yeah, go on. No, I don't know. It wasn't me. I haven't been out there since. I was terrified of the stench and the corpse. Yes, I know who you are. You're a police officer. The law.
This exact conversation has happened before. Establishing authority before this young girl seems to have been important to you in the past. Don't go there again.
Oh, no, I haven't, sorry.
Real policemen have uniforms too, by the way. Where's yours? Right. It's better to not ask too many questions.
Please, no. Not this again. Everyone saw your cool gun, detective. You were trying to impress some people with it. Everyone was eating, and... you were waving it around in everyone's face, begging them to describe it. You said it calms you, and then you started making suicide jokes. It got pretty graphic.
Oh, those again. I have been trying to wean you off them. You know, when you put your gun, your actual gun, on your temple and pretend to shoot your brains out, off of that, people don't like that. I remember this. You were screaming things like, "My brains are all over the wall, painting them red. I won't be seeing it, 'cause these are my brains. I can't see without my brains."
No idea. All I know is next you were waving around money instead, saying things like, "Big bucks cannot lie," and "Guns can't buy money, but money can always buy guns." It almost looked like you pawned it, but believe me, I did not ask. Well, you tried to jam it down the toilet, sir, clogging it completely. After I had unclogged the toilet and retrieved the paperwork, I threw it out in the trash, thinking you didn't need it. I am sorry about that. Anything else, Detective? No, absolutely not. I do hope so. Please, don't call me again. Bye.
You hear the call breaking up on the other end of the radio, and then the already familiar voice.
Anything else I can help you with, officer? 57's over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers, a radio on.
Fuck does Kuno care? The fuck about it? You're testing.
Get lost!
Right, Pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno. Listen, listen. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. Your size, good price. 500 real. Whatever. Kuno was trying to help you, but you're too fat for fun. The fuck? A mug in the trash. Is this about the fucking clothes again? Yeah, Kuno sees where this is going. Kuno's got that fast brain. You saying you pigs are after the mug fucker, 'cause he's the clothes fucker?
I can't hear you, Kuno! Speak louder, Kuno!
Shit, that's tense. Someone's going to the beat-down basement, huh? Mug guy gonna get tied to the radiator. Kuno doesn't know who put that shit in there. And if he did, he wouldn't squeal. But if you find out, maybe you can...
Tell the Kuno who it was. He's curious. He likes putting two and two together here.
Stop turning into a pig, Kuno! They're trying to get you hooked on the snitching! Get away from my Kuno.
Yeah? Get your bacon shit away. Kuno doesn't like to be seen with the popo. Get your shit done and out of Kuno's face. Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno does...
Die before I squeal, pig. What's this kid shit?
Get the fuck out of here, face! You got done!
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Hello again, officer. How are things?
The theme on that pinball machine is a standard royalist theme, used on everything from pinball cabinets, clinging to a picture book version of the past century, waiting for the king to come back and cast out all the profiteers and homosexuals, based the contemporary periods. By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank, but you've been at this hostel cafeteria for, you don't really know, do you? South, maybe, doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out. You can try. Run some addresses in your head.
Can I help you? Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. I think fugue states are more your forte, officer. Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my staff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene. The trash collection service? CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threats that solves itself down the road. Thank you anyway.
Yes?
This door has been closed with a padlock. The shackle snaps.
After you, detective.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads, Kraz Marzov. Honestly, he does kind of look like you after all.
Whoever lives here definitely shares your enthusiasm. There aren't many communists around, not after the revolution. Some youth still keep the ideology going, it seems. The white star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. How fitting. Hold on a second. Is this why you broke in here? To find out whether you're Krasmazov? Sure it is. Well, you both do seem to share an affinity for sideburns, but it seems like old Kras here didn't drink nearly as much as you. You do, but that's not the point. The point is, he doesn't look like you. Ah, very well. Let's look for identifying features then. Doesn't he have a birthmark right here? What about you? Then it's settled. You are not Krasmazov. All right, but here's the big thing. Krasmazov looks Samaran, and you don't. Yes, he does. Look at his eyes. Wasn't his mother a Samaran immigrant? Good, so you're not him. It's decided. You are not the most...
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
The smell is repulsive. Too late. It's impossible to keep in. Your body curls and pushes it out, burst by burst. Until a pool of vomit lies under your feet, and your throat stings from the stomach acid.
It's okay. Happens to everyone. Keep it. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head. If you can handle the headache. Some officers use it to deal with cadaverine odor. I can't handle the headache.
It's more likely he can handle the smell, unlike you.
There's the fruit nearby. Maybe they have some in their apothecary. If they don't... There's a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the whirling in rags. If she works here, she might have something for the smell.
Pretty clever.
Acquiring ammonia will provide a modifier to the white check. Modifier...
Hello again, officer. How are things? Sure, I'm done with it. Go easy on that stuff. It gave me a terrible headache.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now. The ammonia only makes it worse. The combination the second time, not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
Nor does the wind right now. I've seen strong men turn themselves inside out for hours. You are facing tough odds here. Alcohol withdrawal makes it considerably harder. I've seen captains puke their guts out. It never gets easier. You never get used to the smell. Every Monday is cadaver day. Throw up, investigate. Throw up, initial autopsy. Throw up, baguette. Then drive to the station. Maybe throw up on the way there. I think I've lost my sense of smell.
A white lie.
Not being hungover helps too. No. This is a two-man assignment because it needs 2 officers to complete. I need your help. You need to get your shit together. We should go talk to the locals. Find something else to do while the wind changes. It's pretty bad.
You've gained a thought. When this dialogue is over, go to your thought cabinet and internalize it for special bonuses and effects.
Give it half an hour. Get yourself together. Then...
There he still is, looking right.
Hello again, officer.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Have you tried it before?
The lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of the knickknacks on display. He won't be your knock, but he won't be thrilled about this either.
Here you go, man.
Yes, darling. That's the coalition government ordained parolida.
Of course. Let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, perhaps.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All big men on big
Franco-Nigerian knights.
They're not all.
This is what the loyalists.
Which ones? Ah, did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps. You see rows of toy soldiers guarding. The speakers below are banged up and worthless. The sneakers triumph over them. They're...
No way, officer! These aren't for sale. They're bad. Well, if you want them... But see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, where will the sneakers go? I can't leave premium lifestyle sneakers on the ground. If, on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could maybe throw in the speakers for little extra.
Damn, so you have to buy the sneakers first.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing those clothes, keep...
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses.
You like sunglasses, officer?
Abort.
Damn, officer.
They're perfect for concealing your...
No, you are definitely not buying those. No, I can't. We can't walk around with...
Now it's turning into a...
looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. The windows are clear. They've been recently washed.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
Last we saw, your race was being superseded by the Seminese. Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of it. Bring your troops to the Simonine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside,
There may be a peaceful solution to this. You could internalize Meshached's race theory. He would take you as one of his own. Well, not as such. What you do with a mastery of advanced race theory is up to you. You could reject the findings, sure, or accept them and become an advanced racist. Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff. Yes, better not to expand your mind in this direction. You may find out.
Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that. Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront polycultural capital, something your race, naivistic communists, never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. Idiotic communism is the single greatest contributor to your race descent. Everywhere around you, the fruits of its failure to challenge the world order. Individualism, rock and roll music, sexually transmitted diseases. Above all, rampant multinational finance still reigning large. Tell me, where have you gotten your love of pathetic communism from? Degenerate youth culture? Rock and roll music? Rock and roll is moribund. Only Koikos listen to it anymore. There is no life left in it. My people abandoned it long ago. It leads only to neurodegenerative herpes and heroin overdoses. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race. The South Island race, haplogroup A4A. We are the rightful masters of the Insulindian archipelago. We descend from the Areopagites of ancient Pericarnassus and arrived here 4,000 years ago, millennia before you. We are the future. That is all you need to know. I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulumbuir are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Seminoles. No. I have heard about it on the radio. I'm from Couronne. And no, it is not just in Revachol. The city is central to the Seminoles strategy. You have heard enough about our phylogenetic secrets for today. You have extinction to come to terms with. And
I think this racist is better than the last. But the next racist will be the really good one.
That will be the...
He will grant us 3 wishes.
Your pedomorphic friend has quick wits. A protruding occiput and an indented zygomatic bone.
The lieutenant does not flinch.
You should keep him close. The congenital defect of farsightedness does not render him a complete invalid. He still has the use of his mind.
He does not so much as glance at the object.
Stop showing me your pathetic cup. I have no interest in it.
He had nothing to do with it.
Racists are generally not very good examples of their race. I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt. You exhibit forward projection of the jaw, indicative of schizophrenia and sexual inaccountability. From a purely aesthetic standpoint, the dimple in your jaw makes you look like a baby. This is not craniometry, just an observation. It is impossible to see any more of your bone structure. It is covered in the ravages of Al-Hul. From what remain of your features, I can see fleshy lips, baldness of the head, and long arms relative to lower limbs. This leads me to conclude you are not a police officer. You are a common criminal, an offspring of murderers and sailors from Sur-la-Clé and Vesper, and possibly even the degenerate sheep herders of Ubi. Your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as all Revacholians. Your parents and their parents made the decision.
He's right there. It's almost impossible to get it on unless you're both drunk. It's too scary when people are sober.
Yes?
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you? Sorry. Busy surveying the situation. I'm sure you'll figure something out. You guys have all sorts of gadgets these days. Wiretapping, telescopic batons, futuristic circuit bending to infiltrate harbor machinery. Maybe you could even knock that Kowalson crane over using some remote controls. Or calling in tactical air support. You guys have air support, right?
Because we don't. We don't have air support or any of those other things.
I get it. Hush hush about the secret technology. All right, I may have some advice for you on how to deal with Jean-Luc there, out of solidarity to the RCM. It's low in technology, however. First, don't fight him, obviously. Second, get him to share his theory by being subordinate. Admit your lack of expertise. Basically grovel. That's how I do it. You're welcome.
Maybe that would work. We'll have to see.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and...
Is this about the questions again?
She looks up from her magazine, eyes filled with tire.
Yes. What we have is there, in the medicine cabinet. Go take a look yourself. I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so... Uh-huh.
The tear machine stands in the corner.
Oh, that's the tear machine. It's a machine for tear. You need a bag, I guess. Feel free to use it if you find a bag, though.
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says... A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo.
I don't know. Let's see. Nosafed is a nasal spray. Dramamine is a really good painkiller. I don't really know what Hypnogamma is. I guess it makes you feel less shit. It's recommended to use after lots of partying, studying, or exercising. No. Sorry. I'm not like a doctor or anything.
Nosafed heals +1 health. Dramamine heals +3 health. Magnesium heals +1 morale.
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something.
Volumetric ship compressor. Bizarre scientific news from Revachol West. There he still is, looking right through you with his white eye.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
Ha ha ha! Again, the corpse laughs at you, pus dripping from its mouth. You will never be able to hold it in. Every time it happens, it gets worse and worse. There's nothing more to throw up now. All that's left is crying and convulsing dryly at the same time. The lieutenant is clearly at a loss.
Officer, you just need to be stronger. Learn to keep it in long enough for us to work. There's nothing else to do.
You can open this white check again by going to your character sheet and spending a skill point to upgrade your endurance. Gain new skill points by exploring and completing side tasks.
Relax. It's okay if you don't make it today. The bloated corpse isn't going anywhere.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
This Post Levantorie mail collection box has been heavily... The box seems eat shit pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also. The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you. You shudder. Then you swallow. Son, you've really let yourself go. It's a disgrace. But Coach Physical Instrument is going to get you back in prime condition, even if it takes 1,000,000 push-ups. It's going to take blood, sweat, piss, and tears. But when I'm done with you, boy, you will be a master athlete. Behold, world. Here walks a sportsman.
I have... Yes, René. Hello, officer. How might I be of... Let me think. I heard some... No, officers. I'm sorry.
Then help them, you wimp. You have...
He means caviar socialists.
I wish I could, but I just don't know anything.
Odd. He doesn't seem to be lying, but there's something off here.
I'm not even anyone...
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of union prick he can't even speak properly.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? I'm not anyone impotent in the... Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath, and there he stands, proud, rigid and alone, like a cracking marble step.
Let's try not to get caught in a crossfire.
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties, help with little things. Evrard, Edgar, and the older debarders all know me. Oh, yes. Not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but Evrard keeps me on the payroll, just for the little things.
So that's what it was before. Him hiding something. He tries to make it look like he's a big deal in the Union, and now he doesn't know anything. Because no one tells him anything. He's an outsider.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that. He's a Weservein. Turns the way the wind blows and tries to look important. I hate this socialist rabble, but even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence. Never committing to anything. Pick a damn side already.
Writing work mostly. Occasionally, he needs something written, and I happen to have a way with words, people say. Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers. About Martinez and how things are and how they could be. Evrard and I have these long talks where...
Well, he tells his little penman exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I don't even consider myself a regular socialist. Politics is not really something I involve myself in, officer. Officer, I have a vivid imagination. And like I said, I have a way with words. That's enough. No need to sink into politics.
He just fluffs it up.
Of course. Don't sink into anything. Don't sink into any fight. Only sink into your couch.
I prefer highly adaptable myself. Have a better ring to hit, don't you think?
Mon Dieu.
No, thank you. For being consummate Sure, officer. No. Oh, the goal is to throw you bull. As close to the cochonnet as you can. That's the cochonnet. Well, First, you draw a circle about a half a meter in diameter. We made ours out of rope. Then, the order of play is determined by a coin toss. You win it. You get to throw the cochonnet. Then, the players aim to throw their bulls as close to the cochonnet as possible. They must stay. I could, but I'd rather not. I don't want to take up. You'll put that knowledge to good use in 50 years.
I don't like where this is going, officer. Don't you think we should do something else now? Hurry up, then.
I'm sorry, officer, but I really don't share food. Nothing personal, it's just a principle.
The only one you have.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. You must have other business then?
All right, this is how we're gonna do it.
Like what, officer? This is as good as they come in Revachol, I assure you.
An array of delicious recipes flashes through your mind. Salads, salmon, sandwiches, bingo.
That would certainly have been an improvement.
Beautiful. Now bring it home with paprika.
Ce serait délicieux! Can you make that sandwich, officer? I hope you are not just tricking an old man out of the little he has left. Okay. Sure. I'm not worried. We're here all the time, every day. Impossible to miss us. Is there anything I can do for you right now?
Hello again, my man. What's on?
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island. Put a silver plaque on the statue. The woman still has her eyes fixed on the photograph in her hands, in the background. No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail. A lorry stuck in the windows are clear. The driver has adorned his space with the back end of the cabin as a small perch to sleep. Large ashtrays, a book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover features a large
racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy. Likely, yes.
Looking for something odd? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
Right to work! Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going...
I know nothing about a murder. Wouldn't put it past these harbor bugs. They'd do anything to stay alive.
Right to work!
It's shameful.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity.
Let us work!
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, decide to block honest work from...
Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we...
There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks... His shirt is far too small, and he ignores your question, choosing instead to turn to the emaciated. Silence is the answer. There's something off here, but he won't. You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is...
What's it to you?
Am I a suspect? Done no crimes. I only fight for the rights of people.
Every once in a while, it's like you can see glimpses of another guy under the guise of this fighter for jobs. He seems more...
We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill. Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell? Uh-huh. It was a long time ago. Not before you get in there and get your ass whooped. Learn by failure, I always say.
He might have some advice, but you got to at least try to fight Measurehead first. Return if you fail.
Yes?
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Just like that, instinct took over. A solid strike straight into his throat, into the cartilage. You could swear you felt the soft palate break. The man is reeling, gasping for air. Time stands still around you, and all you hear is a small gurgling sound as a trickle of blood appears on the man's lip. Don't wait. You've only got a millisecond. He's coming too. Time is breaking loose from the stupor. His left hand curled, that fighting pose. Watch out. He's expecting the hook. Oh God. Wrong move. Your head is in his hands.
Say it. I am a degenerate drunk.
The compression is unbearable. This is causing some serious damage to whatever precious, gelatinous thing is.
You are a poor player of physical chess.
How did this happen?
You must be out of your mind.
Your fist cracks in his hand like a ripe apple. Pain shoots up into...
The words to the song have changed. Good. Now leave before you humiliate your homoerotic organization.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't force us into situations where I may have to shoot random civilians, because that won't get us anywhere. I'm not even sure the one bullet my chamber holds would even prick that hook. We are not here on some political quest. We are here to solve a crime. Don't make the situation any more volatile than it already is.
The lieutenant groans, but does... That's right. You should do it again. It's the last thing.
I guess getting past the man ain't that simple.
Nice aggression.
Not bad advice, actually. This might do the...
Let's talk about our right to work. No, I'm not a fighter. I'm a worker.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look over.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
Every snowflake is like a little gift from the sky. I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running. Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get a... Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed. Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go... Exactly, but we've been doing fine so far. They shouldn't be, but they seem real. Anyhow, they say that these grounds are doomed for businesses. Of course, sir. It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man. Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir. That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life. Not in romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in the end. Maybe some about other books?
Coach physical instrument. Wait, how did you know all those hammer throw techniques? How do you know how to hold a discus? Or the...
You're back. Good.
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy. Look at that lady. Take a gander. A well-kempt, yet tastefully short bob of dark hair, despite the first hints of grey, while dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say everything is possible, within reason. Now look at you. You misery-clad simian, barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes, a scythe of... You're poor, poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too... You think your little communism protects you from this feeling? No. The more demeaning it...
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
Voila, you're doing it.
Ah, yes, of course. I'm sad to hear that. How much do you need?
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your predicament?
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you. The paper is cold and oily.
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
You're right, ma'am, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today, besides supplementing its salary?
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it? Well? Great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. It's good you paid before 9 p.m., or your door would have been locked electronically. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you? What thing? Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness? We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later.
You glance at the clock on the wall behind the manager. Huh.
Good question.
They're probably getting drunk or protesting something somewhere. Or laying low after the, lynching. They probably fucking killed that guy or something, and that's why.
I have a feeling we'll make their acquaintance sooner or later.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire.
Another thing. Great. Yes?